Good morning, and you're all very welcome to this tutorial which I have been asked to provide for Leaving Cert students for Leaving Cert Irish. My name is Toole. Now, because it's the first one of the series and this is a whole new situation we're all in actually currently with everything that's going on with coronavirus and that, so it's something we perfect as we go and I learn as I go. One of the first things I'd say to you is that the notes that accompany this series of talks on the Irish, I'm going to start with the poetry, obviously, for the Leaving Cert. The notes that accompany that are available from me, right? So all you got to do is send me an email and request the notes and say, "Hi Larry, do you have the notes?" And I'll send them on to you. And if you have those accompanying notes then for the second and third and fourth, or second and third, maybe third, possibly two, maybe three, tutorials on this, and as we go on, I'll move on to the prose, etc., poetry writing and stuff like that, and essay writing and stuff like that. So for today it's poetry, and we're going to start with one of the easier poems. Now, first thing I'll do is I'll give you my email so that you can contact me directly for notes, okay? So my email is LAURENCE, as in Lawrence, Toole, TOOLE, at wwetb.ie. I'm just going to check on the camera to see how visible that is. It's not bad, but it's not great, but under the circumstances. I just call her out to you to make sure. It's LAURENCEOTOOLE at wwetb.ie. Send me an email and I'll send you on the package of notes to go with this, okay? With these talks, okay? For today, you'll have to just have a sheet of paper and a biro in front of you, or a pen or a pencil, to take down some of the notes that we'll need to talk about before we start discussing the poem. This is aimed at a higher level kind of student, okay? But at the same time, if you are doing ordinary level, then, you know, I would tune in and I'll pick up some notes along the way for people doing ordinary level as well, okay? Okay, so you got the email? Good. Now, okay, let's begin. So the first poem that I'm going to actively, before we begin actually, I should say, look, I do hope that you're all actually socially isolating. I hope you're staying away from each other. Keeping 2 meters between yourselves, and again, I'd say to you guys, you know, it's not your parents that are asking you to do this, it's not politicians that are asking you to do this, it's not the guards, it's not doctors, it's the scientists of the world who have asked us to do this. We need to stay away from each other for a while, so please, if you are practicing that, well done, and if you're not, you need to practice it immediately. Stay away from groups, stay away from your friends, and if you have to meet a friend, stay 2 meters apart, and you know, don't spend too long together, and use your phones and your social media for staying in contact. Just for now, we've got to protect the older generation as well in Ireland from this. And hopefully things will be back to normal, to a new normal, sooner than later. And I'll see you all again back at work, because I do miss all your energy and everybody that comes in here to this school. Those of you, you know who you are. So listen, let's get going. Okay, so the first poem I'm going to do is called Gavin. You know the poem Gavin. Now the poem goes like this. Anavi me, I'm an animal, Anavi alta, a wild animal, Osna chokersa from the tropics. A will clogus caller mishkev, where there's a kind of fame and reputation for my beauty. The second verse runs like this. Chreen creamed in a quilla. I would shake the trees of the woods traw one time, lemochar with my roar. Achanish, but now, liam she as I lie down, agus brahanim tree lahol, and I look out through a half eye, or an grown-in ruction hole, and that single tree over there. Talking the Katadina Chilila, hundreds of people come every day. A yen hook rudder victim, who would do anything for me. Ach me a liggin amach, but let me out. So the poem really, upon first inspection, is about an animal who is speaking directly to us. I'm an animal, a wild animal from the tropics, where there's fame and reputation for my beauty. I'm famous for being beautiful. I would shake the trees of the woods one time at my roar, but now I lie down and I look out through a half eye at that single tree over there. By looking out through a half eye, he means he's half asleep, he's dazed, he's He's not chasing wild animals up and down the Serengeti. He's in a zoo in a cage, and he just looks out half asleep through a halfway in a single tree over there that they've provided him with. Hundreds of people come to the zoo every day who would do anything for him. Last line, Och me a liggin amach, but let me out. The title of the poem, Gavin. Gavin means captivity. To be in captivity, or to be held down, or in bondage, or in captivity. Gavin. Now, I suppose oppressed, captivity, held down, locked in, Gavin. Now, for the purpose of this discussion that I'm going to do on this poem, and this again is aimed at higher level specifically, but with the ordinary level notes worked into this. Okay, so the first thing we need for an ordinary level note on this really is the theme of the poem. And the theme of this poem essentially, I know it sounds a bit straightforward, is actually Gavin, captivity. What is it like for that animal to be in captivity? The isolation, the loneliness, the sadness, the despair. So one of the things you do need to say, given it the title of this poem, is thema den dawn, is the theme of the poem. No, you'll find that on the accompanying notes. With the notes I provide for this, there's a set of notes that say useful words for discussing poetry. Now, I want to talk about 3 words I use a lot. You can take these down for now, because we'll use them in all our series of talks about poetry. Okay. One is Bemin. B-E for the I-M, I for the O-N-N. Bemin. B. Now, if you haven't got a good picture and you can't see this clearly, I'll spell it for you. B-E for the I-M, I for the O-N-N. Bemin on filler. That means the poet emphasizes. Okay? The second one that we're going to use a lot in our notes to discuss this poem is Nartian on filler. Now, if you've taken down this one, here's this one, N-E-A-R-T, I for the O-N-N, Nartian on filler. The poet strengthens. And another one, and we'll use one more, because once you have 3 words like this to talk about how the poet develops things, emphasizes things, strengthens theme in the poem, and another one that I use is Musclean. M-U-S-C-L-E-I for the O-N-N. Musclean on filler. The poet awakens. The poet maybe awakens sadness, happiness, just, awakens a feeling in the poem. So let's just run those one more time. This one is M-U-S-C-L-A-I for the O-N-N, Musclean on filler. Pause me right now, and take the 3 down, and put them on your sheet. Okay, and when you come back then, we'll continue. Okay, so you've taken those down, you've paused me for a minute, thank you, give me a break. And we've come back here now, and we have the 3. Bemin on filler, the poet emphasizes. Nartian on filler, the poet strengthens. Musclean on filler, the poet awakens. Okay. The next thing I want you to take down as a note to accompany the essay that I'm going to give you on this poem is this one. And you probably know this one. Is thema den dawn. Is thema den dawn. T-E for the A-M-A. Is thema den dawn. Is the theme of the poem. I use things like this. Is Toole on dawn. You're in the Mochaníloch here because it's the title of the poem and Mochaníloch. Sorry, not Mochaníloch. Jesus, you're in the Tishel Ginneduch, genitive case. Is Toole on dawn is the title of the poem. The Tishel Ginneduch, whenever you have of da no scola, the colour of the school. Yeah, da no spera, the colour of the sky. Da no parka, the colour of the field. Is Toole on dawn. Dawn changes from A for the N to I-N. Is the title of the poem. Okay, that's grammar. Let's just stay with for the poetry a second. Is thema den dawn is the theme of the poem. Is Toole on dawn is the title of the poem. Okay. Now, there's 2 other words we're going to use a lot. So again, take these 3 or 4 down, and then we'll start the poem. Right? The first one that I would say is Lehefocht. Are we good? Lehefocht. Thanks, Liam. Just the camera waves in check to make sure we're recording. Okay. Lehefocht. With effect. So you could say, Bemin an fille, the poet emphasizes, you have that in your notes, it's one of the first three. Bemin an fille bron. The poet emphasizes sadness, lehefocht, with effect. So don't show in this poem. Okay. So you have lehefocht. Okay, I want you to take down these three quickly. These are part of the notes. Solaire. If something is solaire in the poem, S-O-I-L-E, I'll just check to see if that's picking up well on the camera again, because I'd like to. Yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad. Solaire. Something is evident. Tá, bron, solaire, Sudan. Sadness is evident. Sudan in the poem. Now let's just suppose it was clearly evident. Glán solaire is clearly evident. Now take that as well with the little notes that I've asked you to take down. This is another one of our key words. Glán solaire, clearly evident. Example, Tá, Gavin, glán solaire, Sudan. Captivity is clearly evident in the poem. Marhema. As a, come on, tell me. What does marhema mean? Good, well done. As a team. Now the mar here is why we have a H here. Let me give you an example. For example, marhumpla. Why isn't it marsumpla? Mar takes a H. So, team as team, but as a team, marhema. Okay, so we have evident, clearly evident, and as a team. Take those down, pause me for a moment, and take those down on your sheet and have them clearly. And we'll keep referring to those. Pause me now. Okay. Now, the next part of this presentation, we're going to start the poem. Now, the question that I'm going to do for this poem, right, and it's best if I do one set of notes on this in an essay style that covers all the types of stuff that come up on it. So the question I want to do is this. Cod is, now when you ask me for a copy of the notes by email and I send you out this, yes, you will have the notes and you will also have, I'll send you the essay that goes with this. So the title of this essay is Cod is Tema. What is the team? Then Don gave it. What's the theme of the poem? Captivity. August. Now I'm going to put the August in bold there. Conis. Achurrin. And Philip. What is the theme of the poem given? And how, Conis, talk to how are you? Conis Achurrin and Philip, how does the poet put on tema, the theme, os or gore? That's a C, by the way. My students constantly complain that I'm the only person that can read my writing, so I've worked on it in the last few years to improve it, so it's been worse. Cod is, you're writing with this and you're writing in a hurry and stuff, and Cod is tema then done. What is the theme of the poem given? Captivity. Agus Conis Achurrin an Philip and tema shin. And how does the poet put Conis how Achurrin an Philip? How does the poet put on tema os argor, the theme os argor before us? Okay, as I said, for the next talk, I'd be hopeful that you have these notes in front of you. But for today, because it's the first in the series where I haven't given you the contact details I gave you earlier, we'll take it from here. And you'll have the notes the next day, hopefully, because you're going to send me an email and ask me for the notes. Alright? Okay. And I look forward to hearing from you. here we go. So the question is this: Had this tema an Don gave August Collis a Kern and Phil and Tema also. Now the theme I'm going to put on this poem is Saoirse. Now before anyone says no, the theme is zoos and how they treat their animals. The theme is what happens when you put a lion or a wild animal in captivity. By the way, a lot of people talk about the lion and this and the tiger or whatever. At no point is there any mention of a lion or a tiger in this poem. I noticed in the textbooks they have a drawing of this lonely looking, tearful looking tiger lying in a cage. There is no mention of a tiger anywhere in this book. The closest reference we have to any sort of type of animal is Crin Crintin Aquila Trala Magar. I would shake the trees of the woods with my roar. Now, a roar is definitely not a mouse or a pixie or a shrew or a hedgehog, agreed. But many animals have a roar. Lions, cheetahs, lots of animals roar. So we're not told, we just know it's a wild animal and take it like that. Now there isn't something we'll come to later about that. So the theme I'm going to put on this, now as I said, there's 100 themes you can put in this. You can put the theme of sadness, the theme of loneliness, isolation, despair, bondage, captivity, suppression, oppression. But I think there's a little bit more than that. Let me explain. The animal says, Annie me, Annie the Osnotrox. I'm an animal, a wild animal, Osnotrox from the tropics. Let's just say that's life as it used to be. Now, you don't need to take this down for a minute. Let's just say I'm an animal, a wild animal from the tropics, where I one time I would shake the trees with my roar, big roar, yeah? And I was famous for my beauty. I think we could definitely say that that's the animal, and on sale, a V, we can't say it again, okay, because we don't know if it's a male or a female animal. So we'll say on sale, S-A-O-L, a V. Life, sale, a V, V-me, I was, on sale a V, the life that was. Here's the life that was one time. I would shake the trees with my roar one time. I used to run around and out in the tropics, and I was famous for my beauty. Would you agree that that's life as it was? Okay, let's put a VS in here for verses. Verses. Now, look in the middle of the poem. Let's do one say la vie again, the life that was. I would shake the trees with my roar one time. I was famous for my beauty on the tropics. A wild animal. But, but now, the animal says, I look out through a half-closed eye at a single tree over there, and all these people come every day who do anything for me but just will not let me out. I think that is on, this is only my opinion, if you agree, tell me, on sale at all. The life that taught me, I am. V-me, I was. The life that was, on sale at all. The life that is. So my question is this. There is a contrast in this poem between on sale la vie, August, on sale at all. There's a contrast. I'm going to put this one in capitals. Colours not. What does it mean? Write it down on your list of words. Colours not. Take it down. Pause me right now and take it down. It means contrast. Now, contrast. People, a lot of the students I talk to in my own school over the years, we talk about contrast and say, oh, well, it's showing how they're the same or they're different. Listen, contrasting is comparing two things. Two pens, let's compare them. They're both made of plastic, they both have a top on them, they're both a whiteboard marker, they're both, you can wipe them out, they're white. Okay, let's contrast them. This one's black, but this one's blue. Okay, so in contrasting, we're showing what's different. Okay, now, so there's a colour note, a contrast between on sale la vie and on sale at all. There's a contrast between the life that is and the life that was. Let's talk about the life that is. It's a zoo in Navan, in the zoo in captivity. Let's just talk about the life that was. Snatchokrasa in the tropics. where he was famous for his beauty and roaring at trees and making them shake and just showing how fierce he was. And Sailor Toole looking out through a half-closed eye at a single boring tree over there. Okay, that's the life he has. Fresh meat catching himself a zebra. Over here, frozen meat or some sort of meat that was stored and thrown into him. You know, okay, so it's life that was, life that is. Now, so I'm going to make a paragraph out of that in our notes actually for you. Okay, so the second thing I point out about this poem. So we all agree there's a contrast between the life that was, there's a contrast between, does anyone know what the Irish for the past tense is? I wonder if do you know this? And I'm sure. Say it, very good, and I'm sure catcha. What's the present tense? And I'm sure. Láthródh, very good. So tá chuireasnacht, there's a contrast, idir, between. It's the word you'll have to have, tá chuireasnacht, idir, I-D-I-R, there's a contrast, idir, between. And I'm sure catcha, agus and I'm sure láthródh, between the past tense and the present tense. Life that was, life that is. Okay, let's break it down another step. Tá chuireasnacht, idir, there's idir for you, look, idir. So you'd say tá, we put the tá up here because I don't know how wide the lens is on this camera, tá, chuireasnacht. There's a contrast, idir, between. So we said an imshe catcha, agus an imshe láthródh, the past tense and the present tense. Between an sailor V, life that was, and an sailor tá, that this animal has, the life he has. So there's a contrast idir, would you agree? Saoirse. August, here's a new word coming your way. Díorse. Let me spell S-A-O-I-R-S-E, D-A-O-I-R-S-E. It's handy they're spelled the same. Mine is apart from an S. Saoirse is freedom. We all know someone called Saoirse. Freedom. Sair, the word sair means free, but Saoirse means freedom. Díorse means, and this is a very important word in the context of this poem. Díorse means oppression. Right? Now, so what does this sentence mean? Tá chuireasnacht, idir, saoirse agus díorse. There's a contrast between freedom and oppression. Freedom, the life he had, the past tense. Oppression, and saoile táige, the life he has, and I'm sure láthródh, the present tense. Okay, now, so that's 2 points I'm going to make in this poem. The next point I'm going to make in the notes, and it's, again, the notes are in essay format, and I'll send you one of those as soon as you email me. Now, the next point I'm going to make about this poem is the title of the poem. Gavin. G-E-I-V-H-I-N-N. Gavin. Now, my question is this. Gavin. Do you think Gavin, what's the title of the poem, Gavin? What's the title of this poem in English? Captivity. Do you think the title of this poem is, a new word coming your way, O-I-R-I-U for the N-A-C-H. Irúnach. Irúnach. O-I-R-I-U for the N-A-C-H. Do you think that Toole an Dawn, the title of this poem, spelled D-A for the I-N because of the tishel Ginnaduk, and I explained that earlier, but not to worry about it, just spell it A for the I-N after Toole, Toole an Dawn, the title of the poem. So the title of this poem is Irúnach. Irúnach meaning suitable or appropriate. Do you think Gavin, captivity, is a suitable title for this poem? How would you say that? You'd say something like, well, tá Toole an Dawn seo, the title of this poem, an Dawn seo, tá Toole an Dawn seo, S-E-O, Irúnach. The title of this poem is suitable. Why? Does it help to awaken the feeling of captivity in the poem? Does it help to emphasise Béimian an Fella, Béimian an Toole? What does Béimian an Toole mean? The title emphasises Gavin, captivity, brone, sadness. Díorse, there's that word we had a sec. Not Saoirse, díorse. Díorse means oppression. Okay, we're good to go. Now, the next thing we have to do is, there's 2 more things I want to talk about in this essay before I read it for you. The last 2 things. The first thing I'd like to talk about is Ivana. Now you're all thinking to yourselves, I can hear you, you're all thinking Ivana are images. Very good. Ivana. images. Now just be careful of this one because it begins with I. If you're talking about the images, it would be no. Come on, say it, no. Hiavana, it's like the internet on Tidderlin. The bread, it's Aran, but the bread on Taran. Yeah. There's one of your poems, Spring, is Arach. The spring on Tarach. Right, so Hiavana, but it's not Hiavana. Okay. You know what they are, and you all said it, the images, good. And I also want to talk about, no, Mohukan. Oh, you are giving us the plural. No, Mohukan, come on, say it. Yeah, the feelings. So Dawn in the poem. Are the feelings personal in this poem? Are they personal? Are no Mohukan personal? There. Are Mohukan fear of his personal? Are they true and personal? I think so. They're very personal because it's about sadness, loneliness, isolation, and their feelings that are personal and true. Okay. Okay. So Namahu Hiavana and Namahukan. If I lose that idea and just say Namahukan, it becomes the feeling. Just watch that one. Namahukan, A for N, Namahukan. Feelings. Namahukan. The feelings. Oh yeah. Okay. So we'll be talking about those. Now the last thing is this poem. Who's speaking in the poem? An animal. An animal alta, a wild animal. Now, what person is he speaking in? Now let me explain. Okay, is he speaking in the first, second, or I'm going to speak in the first person singular. I am Lawrence O'Toole. I am the best Irish teacher in the galaxy. That's me speaking in the first person. Now I'm going to speak in the second person. You are a student. You are watching my video. You are sitting at home. You are trying to figure out what the hell is he talking about. Third person, he is over there. He is having a can of orange. He is happy. He is sitting out in the sun. He is taking it easy today. That's the third person. What person is this poem written in? I am an animal, a wild animal, where I was famous for my beauty. I would shake the trees of the woods mirror, but now I lie down and I sit over there looking out at one boring tree. They would do anything for me, these people that come to see me every day, except let me out. I want to get out of here. I'm an animal and I'm a wild animal and I'm in captivity. Good. The person talking is the animal. So, Céad Farsa. In the first person. Now, my point is this. So, Céad Farsa in the first person. I'm an animal, I'm a wild animal, I used to shake the trees of the woods mirror. I sit here and I'm looking out at one boring tree over there. I'm so unhappy and I'm so down on myself and I'm so dirsha, oppressed, dirsha, oppression. It's written in the first person singular. So my point is this, it's the anavi, the animal. Another word for your notes, A-I-N-M-H-I for anavi. It's the anavi, it's the animal himself, and tanavi fain. It's the animal himself or herself, or the animal itself, because we don't know if it's a male or a female animal. And, you know, we don't have to get bogged down in that, but it's nice to be sure. It's the anavi fain. It's the animal itself, a toy kind, that is talking Sudan in the poem. Diruk, directly, ling, directly to us, in a guffain, gut is your voice, in a guffain, in his own voice. What does that do if it's the animal speaking directly to us? I think it helps to emphasize or strengthen on passion, Sudan. The feeling in the poem and the passion in the poem. No more August on passion. The feeling and the passion in the poem. Definitely. Because it's the animal speaking directly to it. I mean, when you read this poem, I'm an animal, a wild animal from the tropics, it's a one-to-one conversation with this poor animal who's locked up in captivity. He's speaking directly to us, straight to our heart. I think that adds to the poem's effectiveness, and I think it adds to the feeling in the poem. Okay, the last thing I want to say before we tackle these notes is this. And this is exclusively for higher level. Ordinary level, you're okay here. Higher level. Watch. Are you ready? By the way, anyone doing ordinary level, I have a set of ordinary level notes prepared as well for you. Tell me in your email whether you're doing higher level or ordinary level, and I'll send you an ordinary set of notes or a higher level set of notes. For ordinary level, what you need to know is tema and on, 2-3 sentences. You need to be able to talk about an Eva or Nahivanas Adon, just 2 points about the images. Namahukan, 2 points again. And finally, on Malat and Dawn, do you like the poem? Or Erhan and Dawn Lat, did you like the poem? Okay, and you give 1 or 2 reasons for your answer. Sometimes they might give you a line out of the poem and ask you to comment on it. The honours, it's more of an essay format, okay? And I'm giving you the higher level notes in essay format, which will cover any questions that come up, okay? So if you get asked, now let me give you an example. If you get asked a specific question in higher level on this, a short question, Fakir. Fakir. Now, what Fakir means, allegory. Allegory. What is allegory? Okay. Now, you can also say Fakilach. Be careful of this. Now, this is the spiky bit really. So we just hold this a sec. Just listen to this now a sec. This is a small bit messy. Fakil is allegory. Fakilach is allegorical. What's in your notes? What does allegory mean? I suppose allegory means is it's a piece of poetry, but it could be looked at on different levels. Okay? Let me give you an example. It's raining cats and dogs. Now, do you look out the window and see Labradors and Dalmatians and poodles bouncing off the ground? Jesus, no. You mean it literally. It's raining cats and dogs. You don't mean it literally, you mean it metaphorically. Allegory is a bit like that in that it has an alternative meaning. Okay? So the person who wrote this poem, okay, level literal, on a literal level, is anavi a kite. It's an animal that is a kite talking directly to us in a guffin in his own voice or her own voice. But level fakilach, on an allegorical level, better go well dinner a kind of maybe. There's a person talking. Let me explain that to you. How does that work? The poet who wrote this poem, Gavin, the Kathleen Maud, isn't it? Gavin was written by a poet when she was very ill. Now let's apply that to the poem. I'm a person. I'm an animal, a wild animal. I'm a person, a wild animal. I'm a person, a normal person. I was strong one time. I used to flex my muscles, I used to shake the trees with my roar. I was powerful. But now I lie down in a hospital room and I look out through a half-eye, sick, tired. Loads of people come to see me every day, visitors bringing flowers and chocolates and everything. Who would do anything for me? But take me out of here. She died of cancer, is my understanding. So the poem possibly is about her as a poet, her sickness. She was weak, she was in captivity, this powerful woman with such creative abilities to write poetry and stuff, and she couldn't do anything because she was too unwell. People used to come and see me every day, but would do anything for me except take me out of here. There's the allegory. It could be on that level that we talk about. So level literal, on a literal level, it's an animal. Level fakilach, on an allegorical level, better go and dinner a kinds of on. Maybe there's a person talking in the poem. Okay, there's not much else to be said to the notes. And again, let me just clarify this note situation once again for you. What I would ask you to do is download the notes for Gavin. Go through them and tell me. You'll be tuning in to my next video where I will do Kulskara or Anspalping Faunach, or maybe, what's the other poem in your course? Come on Tarach here, and there's one more, Magratza Ider Lubini. We could do that one too. I'll do all 5, don't worry. Okay. Now, questions, Toole at www.etb.ie. But everything's explained in the notes. Okay, let's talk about this poem. Unfortunately, this will be a kind of a reading thing because you don't have the notes in front of you. So the question that we're doing, higher level, essay, ordinary level, I will send you a set of notes. We do the theme, Mohukan, feelings, Nahivanas Adon, the images in the poem, and An Malat an Dawn, do you like the poem? Or Hahan an Dawn Lat? Did you enjoy the poem? Give Ga, Kush no, Ga, Kush, Lideragra. Or Kurfahan and Lideragra is what to say. Put reasons with your answer. 2 would suffice. Okay. Let's have a look at the notes so for higher level so from here on in. So the question I'm going to do for the higher level group is Conis Tema Dun Dawn Gavin agus Conis Curran and Fila and Tema Shinos or Gore. We took that down earlier. What's the theme of the poem and how does the poet develop that theme? Because this is a video, you can replay me all you want, right? So handy. So what I would say is replay me when you download the notes. How's that? And this will make way more sense. Well, from this point on, the rest is fine. But from here on in, pause the video, send me an email, ask me for the notes, I'll ping the notes back to you as quick as I can, and then watch from here on in the video. That would be my advice, and as I said, look, I know there's better ways to do this, and there's better ways to approach it. This is as new to me as it is to you. So I'm trying my best, so give me a chance. Okay, here we go. Here is the essay on what is the theme of the poem, and how does the poet develop that theme, and you should have it in front of you now, because you've sent me an email and I've sent them back to you. So here's the theme I'm going to put on. Here's my intro. There's 2 parts to this question, would you agree? What is the theme of the poem and how does the poet develop that theme? What is the theme of the poem and how does the poet develop that theme? There's 2 parts. Let's say what the theme is first. Saoirse, which is freedom. Agus Saoirse and oppression. Is tema den dawn bronach seo. Is tema den dawn is the theme of the poem. Is tema den dawn bronach seo is the theme of this sad poem. Now you might say, hang on a second there, Larry, back up. Whoa, how can the theme be freedom and oppression when they're the opposite? I don't think you can discuss oppression in a poem about having no freedom, oppression, without freedom being part of the theme as well. Okay, that's my take on it. This animal is stuck in a cage and he's talking about the past tense when he was free. So I think both are there. And I think, you couldn't have one without the other really, okay? Okay, Saoirse agus Saoirse is tema dun dawn bronach seo. Freedom and oppression is the theme of this sad poem. Oh, who's there on dawn? Now, that's a term I use a lot, right? I'm going to give you 2 terms to add to your list of words that Larry uses a lot for his notes, to suit you guys. Oh, who's there on dawn? O-T-H-U-S, who's, just in case you can't see it well, Dara, D-E-I-R-E-N-E-H. Dara Shocktana, weekend. Okay? Oh, who's Dara from start to finish on dawn of the poem. And the second thing I use a lot is treed on dawn. Treed, T-R-I for the D, throughout the poem. Obviously we have to be able to say in the first verse, in the second verse, so triu versa, so sheu versa, in the 6th verse. But we also need to be saying throughout the poem, treed on dawn, or from start to finish in the poem, of the poem. Okay. Pause me, put those on your list. Right guys, let's carry on again. I hope you're still with me. Haven't fallen asleep or anything? Good. Here we go. Saoirse agus Saoirse is tema dun dawn bronach seo. Freedom and oppression is the theme of this sad poem. Oh, who's there on dawn from start to finish of the poem? Narteen and Fila and tema seo the hayfucked. From start to finish of the poem, now do you remember Narteen and Fila? You have it written down. What is it, everyone? Good, the poet strengthens. So from start to finish of the poem, the poet strengthens this theme. Le hayfucked. Le hayfucked. With, you had this earlier. What is it? That's an A, right? That's a C. Le hayfucked. With effect. Let's beef it up a small bit. Le hayfucked. Driota. Now there's Dree. The word Dree without the octa means druid. What did druids do in Celtic society? They were the high priests, they were the wise ones, they were also the magicians who could predict the future. So we get the word Driot, magic. So le hayfucked Driota with magical effect. So the poet helps us to understand this animal's case, le hayfucked Driota with magical effect. Pause me, add it to your list of poetry words. You should know about 10 to 12 words on that list. They were something like Nartian on Fila, the poet strengthens, Bamian on Fila, the poet emphasises, Musclean on Fila, the poet awakens. We had Solaire, evident, we had Glan Solaire, clearly evident. We have Lehefucht Driopta, with magical effect. We had Lehefucht on its own, with effect. We had the word Kuddersnacht, contrast. And a few other words along the way. Okay, so here's the intro in full, see if you can understand this. What's the theme of the poem given, and how does the poet get that theme Osar before us? Here we go, and you have the notes at this stage hopefully. Saoirse agus Díoirse is téime don Dán Bránach seo. Freedom and oppression is the theme of this sad poem. O who's there on Dán from start to finish of the poem. Nartín an Fila, the poet strengthens, and téime seo this theme. Lehefucht Driopta, magical effects. And the last sentence in our intro. Ag dera an Dán, we had the word dera shocked in a weekend. Ag dera an Dán, at the end of the poem. Tiggin an Lehor. Who's the Lehor? Leithheoir. The reader. So Tiggin an Lehor. Toigin. The reader understands cause an envy. Cause an envy. What's the cause an envy of the animal? His case. What do you remember his case? Cause. Seamus. Costly. At the end of the poem, the reader understands Tiggin an Lehor, cause an envy. The animal's case, his story, his predicament is how I would translate that. Okay. Let's go to my second paragraph now, and in the second paragraph in this essay, for the higher level, we discuss the Hivana, the images in the poem. I'm going to just have a look at two, and it's going to be like this. Now, I'm going to give you a little set piece now, that I use a lot. So again, go to your sheet where you're taking down your poetry words, and catch this one. This is very useful. This is a sweet one. Watch this. I know I said it was sweet. It's not a Mars bar. It's a good one. Technique Íntoch. Now this can be used, this is a killer set piece. Technique Íntoch. Son. Now take the H after son. Idiot. F-H-I. I for the O-C-H-T. Now take this one down with which are the words for discussing poetry. This is lovely. Technique Íntoch son Idiot. Isha. Blank. I'll tell you what the blank is about in a minute. August. Fearish. And the last bit, the Gauss. That's an S, for those that can read me writing. The Gauss on Dawn. Shot. Now let's talk about this for a minute, because I'll tell you why. You will see this a few times in my notes. I think it's a set piece. Technique Íntoch son Idiot, a wonderful technique in poetry, is blank. August and inspiration, that is true. It goes on Dawn show in the case of this poem. What could go on the blank? In this case, I think contrast is very big in this poem. You could put Kuddersnacht in the blank. Translate it now, please. Let's do it together. Technique Íntoch son Idiot, a wonderful technique. Son Idiot in poetry. Isha. A wonderful technique in poetry is contrast. August is fearish in the Gauss on Dawn. And that's true in the case of this poem. Change that to Ivana. Technique Íntoch son Idiot. Isha Ivana. A wonderful technique in poetry is images. August is fearish in the Gauss on Dawn. And that's true in the case of this poem. Now, let's go to the second paragraph in your essay that you have before you, and you will see it starts, funnily enough, with Technique Íntoch son Idiot Isha Ivana. A wonderful technique in poetry is images. Agus is fearish in the Gauss on Dawn, and that's true in the case of this poem. So, Céad Versa, in the first verse. Now, I want to talk about Larian and Philip. By the end of this essay, you'll have all the expressions for all the other essays, so it will get easier. Larian an Philip means the poet portrays. How is something portrayed in the poem? Is it portrayed as sad, lonely? How is it portrayed? How is it depicted or shown, portrayed? And this word here is another word, a leru. Is that? L-E for the I-R-I-U for the leru is a portrayal. What did you think of his portrayal in the movie of a character? So leru is a portrayal and lerin the poet portrays. Add those two to the other 13 words now you have on your sheet and the title of that sheet is Words for Discussing Poetry. They're all words for one purpose, for discussing poetry. And the way my philosophy on teaching Irish has always been, because the levels are so great and some students have an aptitude, some students find it difficult, some students have very little understanding of it, and some students are stronger. My way of tackling that has always been, what is the task at hand here? To be able to discuss poems. So what kind of language do we need to know in Irish? We need to know language specifically for discussing the poem. I call it genre-specific language teaching. So all these words you're learning today with me on your list are all words that you will use for discussing poetry. And then eventually when you become a master of them, we will start to look at how we can use them in other situations for other purposes. Okay? Let's do it. Okay, second verse. Look at your essay if you have it. Technique iontoch son liok to ivana. A wonderful technique in poetry is images. Agus is fear shin a gas and don show, and that is true in the case of this poem. So Cade versa in the first verse. Now, the next word is important. Larry Tar. The breather sir, I'm sure Austin. No, I'm sure Laharlock. Larry Tar. We said Leru was a portrayal. We said Larry and Nonfilla, the poet portrays. Larry Tar equals is portrayed. Now it's the breather sir. When you put tar onto a word, brishtar is broken. Yeah? Skrieftar is written. Hoptar is taken. Hoptar is given. Leriter is portrayed. When you put tar onto the root word there, it gives you, when you don't know who carried something out, it's called a breather ser. It's like a spare verb. It's okay. Now, you find it on the end of any verb. Okay, in the present tense it's tar, in the future tense it's far, F-E-R, or in the past tense it's A-D-H. But what you mean is Leriter is portrayed. Okay, let's go back to our second paragraph now. Always pause me, rewind me, and take down the word on your list of poetry words. Okay, here we go. A wonderful technique in poetry is images. Agus is fearation, and that's true in the case of this poem. Second paragraph. So Cade versa, and I'm discussing images in the poem. So Cade versa, in the first verse, Leriter an Tanavi, the animal is portrayed, quote, Mar Anavi alta asnotrocus, as a wild animal from the tropics. Nartian an Eva Shaw. Nartian is, say it, look at your list. Strengthen, yes. So Nartian an Phila is the poet strengthens. What's Nartian an Eva? The image strengthens. Nartian an Eva Shaw, this image strengthens. Now, I refer to the Eva as an Eva Comasoc. C-U-M-A-S-A-C-H. Add it to your list of 14 words, or however many you have. Comasoc equals power. Full. Comasoc. Powerful. In Eva Comasoc, a powerful image. Good. Okay, pause me, add it to your list. And I'm wiping the stuff off quick, but that's because you pause me, take it down, okay? Right. In the first verse, Leriter an Tanavi, the animal is portrayed, Mar Anavi Alta, a wild animal from the tropics. This is the second paragraph all about images. So what does that image do? A wild animal from the tropics. Nartian an Eva Shaw, Sirsha. This image, a wild animal from the tropics, out there in the tropics, roaming around. That image emphasizes or strengthens Nartian. Sirsha, August Dirsha, freedom and oppression. Marhema as a team. Sudan in the poem. Marhema Loider, what's Loider? Strong. So Marhema Loider as a strong team in the poem. Okay, good. There on Tanavi, the animal says, Crean, crean to Trollamagur, I would shake the trees with my roar. What does that image do? Again, Arish, Bemin, and Iavasha, again, this image emphasizes Sirsha, freedom, out there roaring, express yourself. Marhema Loider, again, look at the last line in that second paragraph. Bemin and Iavasha, this image emphasizes Sirsha, freedom. Marhema, as a team. Marhema Loider as a strong team. So Kate verse in the first verse. So I've talked about two images there that both help to strengthen the theme of freedom and oppression. Sirsha, August Tirsha. Let's go to the third paragraph now. And this time now, in the third paragraph, we're going to look at now. Do you see the third paragraph? I have a plus sign in the first sentence. Treed and dawn throughout the poem. Let's look at the next word first, usaid. Now, usaid is to use. Usaid Sean Pioner Skolgach Law. Sean uses a pen at school every day. Usaid is to use. Usaid her. Go back to earlier, we spoke about the rehearser. We said Leriter is portrayed. So what does usaid her mean? Is used. If you got it, well done. If you didn't, keep trying. And usaiter is used. Okay. Now I want you to look at the first sentence in the second and the third paragraph. We're going to start talking now about Ankhed Farsa, the first person. The fact that in this poem the first person is used. Effectively, it is the line, the animal itself that's talking directly to us. Remember we spoke about that earlier. Good. So, if you look in the paragraph, I put in a plus sign. I want you to, where it says plus, put an arrow pointing at the plus and put in on Khed, and I'm going to write this one in circular motion, just to be different. On Khed Farsa. What's on Khed Farsa, everyone? Now, if you know what on Khed Farsa is, you're getting me. The first person, I'm an animal, I'm a wild animal, I used to hunt, I used to be out in the tropics, I used to roar. But now I'm lying down in a cage and I have one boring tree over there and they'll do nothing for me except let me out, I'm here and I'm stuck. That is the animal speaking in Ankhed Farsa, the first person. Let's make a little paragraph out of that and what, pause it, take it down, add it to your poetry notes. Okay, let's do it. Okay, Farsa, here we go. Treed and dawn, third paragraph. The poet, Treed and dawn show throughout this poem, usaiter is used on Ankhed Farsa. The first person is used lehefocht with effect. She shin lera, that's an expression I seem to use a lot for some reason. She shin lera, that is to say. I suppose in English you might say in other words. So in the first, throughout the poem, the poet uses the first person with effect. That is to say, look at what's in bold here. Is I an tanafi fein a toy kind. It is the animal itself that is a kind talking, directly to us in a chofein, in its own voice. That is to say, it is the animal itself that is a kind directly speaking directly to us in a gofein, in its own voice, lehefocht, with effect. August passion and passion. Marhampla, we have to give examples now. For example, so Khed Versa in the first verse, there on Tanavi, the animal says, Anavi me, I'm an animal. So Dara Versa, there on Tanavi in the second verse, the animal says, so Dara Versa means in the second verse, there on Tanavi, the animal says, Chrihin, I would shake. Chrihin, August Mogar, my roar. So in the second verse, the animal mentions or says, I would shake and my roar. What's the point? Look at the last line. Nartian and kind dialogsho. This direct talk, now what's Nartian, everyone? Strengthens, you have it on your sheet of words. This direct talk to us strengthens Gavin, captivity, Marhema Lloyd or Sudan, as a strong theme in the poem. So that third paragraph is all about the use of Ankhed Farsa Sudan. The poet makes use of the first person where the animal is speaking directly to us. Okay, let's go to paragraph 4. New word coming your way, guys. Go to your poetry word list, the sheet where I've told you to take stuff down. Crohin. Crohin on filler. Now, crohin. Crohin is to create. The poet creates. Now let me just clarify this one. Crohin comes from the word crow, shape. Let's just take a rugby ball. It's oof crow. It's egg-shaped. Yeah? Crow is shape. So crohin and fillet, the poet almost shapes something. So in terms of shaping, in this case, it would be to create something atmospherically. He creates an atmosphere of sadness in the poem. Crohin and fillet. Okay? Okay, take it down, add it to your list. You're probably up around 14, 15, 16 words. Crohin and fillet. The poet creates. Pause me. Good. Take it down. I'm back. Here we go. Right. Paragraph 4. If you have the essay, look at it. If you don't, email me. Let's send it on to you. Ask me for the given essay on the theme, because the next one is on the feelings, and that's, if we're in lockdown, I'd say that could be me doing it from home. Crohin and fillet colour snucked. What's the word colour snucked mean? Good. Contrast. So crohin and fillet colour snucked, say it. You have crohin and fillet. You took it down. The poet creates. So crohin and fillet colour snucked. The poet creates contrast. If you look at my notes, it says colour snucked glan. What's glan on board? Not clean the table or clear the table. So a colour snuck glan, a clean contrast, a clear contrast. Okay. So the poet creates a clean or a clear contrast, either right over the word either there between. So the poet creates a clear contrast between Saoirse agus Saoirse Sadan, freedom and, come on, oppression. Good. Marhompla. Let's talk about what's this paragraph all about. What's in bold? Look at the paragraph. Look at paragraph 4. What word is in bold? Colour snucked. So what's this paragraph all about? Colour snucked. That's what I do. If the word is bold in the paragraph, that means that this paragraph is about whatever is in bold. In this case, colour snucked is in bold. This paragraph is all about contrast in the poem. Crohin and fillet colour snucked glan idir Saoirse agus Saoirse Sadan. The poet creates a clear contrast between freedom and oppression in the poem. Marhompla, for example. So Kate verse in the first verse. Leiriter on Tanaviser. The animal is portrayed free. So trio versa. Leiriter on Tanavi Naven Sazu. Leiriter is one of the words on your list. In the third verse, Leiriter on Tanavi, the animal is portrayed in Naven Sazu. In captivity in the zoo. So in the first verse, the animal is portrayed free. But in the third verse, the animal is portrayed in captivity in the zoo. She shin lera. Did I tell you earlier I used that a lot? That is to say, or in other words, Leiriter on sale agus on Saoirse a Viega. Leiriter is portrayed on sale agus on Saoirse a Viega. The life that he had and the freedom that he had is portrayed in Guttersnot, in contrast. Leis an sail agus an Saoirse atá getting with this life and oppression that he has now. Let's just recap on that line there. Go back to the second line in the fourth paragraph. So trio versa in the third verse. Leiriter an Tanavi in Naven Sazu. The animal is portrayed in captivity in the zoo. Sheishin lera. That is to say, Leiriter on sale, agus on Saoirse a Viega. The life and freedom that he had is portrayed in Guttersnop, in contrast, leis an sale agus an Saoirse atá getting with the life and the oppression that he has now. Marshin. New word for you there, guys. Well, it's not a new word. Marshin means therefore. Add it to your poetry word list. Therefore. Let's finish the part. You can pause me and take it down for me to Marshin. Therefore, Moose clean and colour snuck show. Colour snuck this contrast, and colour snuck show at this contrast. Moose clean and colour snuck show. This contrast awakens. Saoirse agus Saoirse, freedom and oppression. Marhema is as a theme. Comasuk is on your list. Marhema Comasuk as a powerful theme in the poem. Right. Now, Gavin is Teddle and Dawn Short. Next paragraph. Gavin is the title of this poem. Do you think that title is suitable for a poem where we want to reinforce this theme of oppression? It is, of course, because the minute you look at the title of the poem, oppression, straight away the theme is being developed from the moment you even read the title of the poem. So is the title suitable? Absolutely. So let's say that. Gavin is Teddle and Dawn Short. Look at your sheet. Gavin is the title of this poem. Ta Arúnach don Teddle Short Richaléir. The suitability of this title is now Soléir. We did Soléir already, evident. Then we did Glán Soléir, clearly evident. You have it on your notes. There's one more now. I'm going to say Richaléir, which is the one I use here. Richaléir means just blatantly obvious. Soléir, evident. Glán Soléir, clearly evident. Richaléir, just blatantly evident. Okay, let's look at the paragraph. Number 5. Gavin is Teddle and Dawn. Captivity is the title of this poem. Ta Arúnach and Teddle. Arúnach means suitability. So Ta Arúnach and Teddle Short Richaléir. The suitability of this title is blatant. Tigan an Léhor Godírach. The reader understands Godírach directly. Go will Saoirse no Díirse I gceist that it is freedom or oppression that is I gceist in question as a theme in the poem. Now, 3 more little pieces to go. Do you remember I spoke to you earlier, and this is a note within the essay again that you might use in the exam for a short question, a 9-marker where you have to write a little paragraph. Fácíl allegory. Do you remember the example I gave? Well, the example I gave was more of a metaphor. It's raining cats and dogs. But I'm saying if you look at that literally, it's not raining. There's no cats or dogs falling over the sky, Persian kittens and Labradors bouncing off the ground. There's not. It's a metaphorical type of speech. Well, allegorical speech is something that can be interpreted on different levels, okay? Let's look at this now on the allegorical level. Now there's 2 words, and this is spiky. Fácíl is allegory. Fácílach is allegorical. So it'll be levéil fácílach on an allegorical level, okay? Here we go. Levéil literal, 3rd last paragraph. On a literal level, to anivy alta e coincidon, there's a wild animal talking in the poem. Ach, but levéil fácílach on an allegorical level. Beidir go will dinne I gceist. Beidir, maybe. Go will dinne I gceist. Maybe there's a person in question. Sé sin le rá, that is to say. Beidir go will an fille I ngéiven. Maybe the poet is in captivity. Marvan, as a woman. Agus Marilla, and as a poet. Bhí an sláinte go donna ag an villa agus fór she was. The poet had bad health. Agus fór she was, and she died. Bhí an bhean bhoc seo ag bíon agus lag. This poor woman was in pain, agus lag, and weak. Mar sin, therefore, levéil fácílach on an allegorical level, tá aspa Saoirse an ile I gceist mar ábhar sa dá. Therefore, levéil fácílach on an allegorical level, tá aspa Saoirse an ile I gceist. The lack of freedom of the poet. Aspa Saoirse. Aspa means lack of. So aspa Saoirse, the lack of freedom on the ile of the poet is in question. Mar ábhar sa dá. Ábhar, subject, as a subject in the poem. Right, I have one final piece to add to this. And this is, I think the last line of the poem, let me out. May would do anything for me, och may a liggin them up, but let me out. I almost think that's like a cry from the animal. Say, let me out. Agreed? Okay. Let's describe that. Ag Dara Andaman, 2nd last paragraph. Dara Tanavi. At the end of the poem, the animal says, May a liggin amok, let me out. Ta an líne seo. This line is fear havach. Now there's something I don't use that much in these type of essays. I use it a lot in the essays we'll be doing on for the essay writing. Fear is true. Fear no break up, true or false. Fear is true. Fear takes a hedge. Now tábhachtach is important. So fear tábhachtach. Truly tábhachtach important. Fear tábhachtach. Truly important. Pause me. Take it down on your list. Okay, you pause me there now and you have me back. Unpause me and I'm back. Hi. I turn it on down at the end of the poem. They're on Tanavi. Remember, it's Anavi as an animal, but it's on Tanavi. On Taran, on Tarach. Okay. At the end of the poem, the animal says, "Let me out." Tá lína seo fear havach. This line is truly important. Musclín an lína seo. This line awakens brawn, sadness, agus trua, and pity, agree on lehor in the heart of the reader. Tigin on lehor cause on Anavi. The reader understands the animal's case, which is his predicament. What's the point? Nartían an lína brónach seo. Lína is a line, a lína brónach is a sad line, and lína brónach seo is this sad line. So nartían is, you have it on your list, strengthens. This sad line strengthens. Dírsha agus Gavin, oppression, freedom, Dírsha agus Gavin, oppression and captivity. Marhema Lloyd Sudan as a strong theme in the poem. Let's conclude some. Marching, therefore, Tríd an Dánseo, throughout this poem. Dainter, úsáid, éfachtach agus cumasach. Powerful use is made, effective is éfachtach, cumasach is powerful. So powerful and effective use. Dain is to make, dainter is made. Let's just look at that last line again. Therefore, Tríd an Dánseo, throughout this poem, watch this bit. Dainter is made. Dainter úsáid éfachtach agus cumasach, effective and powerful use, úsáid, is made as out of technici filita, poetic techniques. So therefore, throughout this poem, powerful and effective use is made out of poetic techniques. Then go top class poetic techniques. Let's list them. Úsáid and fila, the poet uses Ivana, shout, yes, images. Chorusnocht, say it, good, contrast, a clean contrast. Tedlarunok, a suitable title. And Kate Farsa, the first person. Agus Fácial, an allegory, the hateful driachta with magical effect. And we just finished the poem by saying, Fila agus Anavi Ngavin Godain, a poet, an animal in captivity, Godain, indeed. I hope you found that hour, and it's an hour and a bit, I'd say, tutorial now. I hope you found it useful. It's on the poem Gavin. It will work, but you must really have the notes in your hand first. So email me when you get this video, before you take the lesson and watch my lesson and my discussion on the poem. It's just my take on it, by the way. You might have a different view. Before you do that, I really recommend that you download the notes first. What does that involve? Send an email to Lawrence O'Toole, LAURENCEOTOOLE at wwetb.ie, and I'll respond back to you with the notes. For now, until we talk again, the next lesson will be on the Namahukan in that poem, and we'll take it a stage further. What I would like you to do is stay isolating socially. Keep in touch with your friends via, Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram, whatever you use. And, please encourage people to stay apart for now, so we can protect our loved ones from this illness, And I'll talk to you again in a few days, and we'll get a second video up, and we'll take it from there. Thanks for your time, and I hope I've been some help in some regard. Slán go fóill, and look after yourselves.